Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1979 film, The China Syndrome, starring Jane Fonda, Michael Douglas, Jack Lemmon, and Wilford Brimley. Of course, if you look at this movie, it's a top 4 notch actors. Well, this film was also, of course, you understand, it's also a movie of its time. I don't know why I didn't ever review this movie during the 40th anniversary, which was in 2019. But it's one of those movies I only see in bits and pieces and not the whole thing. Well, finally saw the whole thing. Because this movie stars Jane Fonda as a TV news reporter in Los Angeles, California, who usually does a lot of what you would call puff pieces. That's a little like a ha-ha story, or that's a light story, we'll call a puff piece that usually is at the end of the news, or some charity thing, or some animal had a birthday in a zoo or something like that. That's the type of stories that she was doing. She was complaining of doing these types of stories. She wanted to do more regular, straight, investigative stories or newsworthy stories. So what the TV station decides to do is to have her do a news special about the energy crisis or something. So they sent her and her cameraman, played by Michael Douglas, to a brand new nuclear power station, a nuclear station, or a nuclear power plant, I should say, and to do like not really a puff piece, but a positive news story on the brand new power plant that's going to be opening in LA. So she does that, and while they were there, they were taking a tour, and they weren't filming in certain areas of the power plant, or areas where they were, I should say, were given permission to. And while they were in the observation deck of the control room, which they weren't allowed to either go, they also were not allowed to go in there either, much less filming there. And so, while they were observing the control room, there was some kind of technical glitch. And Jack Lemmon, who was the foreman, the supervisor of this particular shift, was freaked out over it. And Wilford Brimley, who was one of the, he's not really one of the technicians, he was like kind of like a foreman type employee. They found what the problem was, and they fixed it barely in time. And they were going to have a major nuclear meltdown. And of course, there was, back then, and like it is today, it was a major problem with nuclear power plants. Because they didn't know the proper technique to restore it, take care of it, and make sure they don't have any problems. Well, over the years, there were major problems with nuclear power plants like Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, which I'm going to get into the 3 Mile Island thing in a minute. Or towards the end of this video, we'll get to the 3 Mile Island thing, because it's related to the movie. And so what happens is, Jack Lemmon got into his head, Jack Lemmon character, got into his head that the power plant was not safe. He had major concerns over it. And while they did the investigation, or the owners of the power plant did an internal investigation, because you know where usually those things go to. And they're saying not to do anything. So okay, the proper thing was done. We found out what the problem is. The problem is going to be taken care of it. We're going to take care of it. Well, guess what? They didn't take care of the problem. The problem still exists. And so Jack Lemmon contacted Jane Fonda's character and says, look, this power plant is not safe. And Jack Lemmon found evidence that the problem, they kept duplicating a certain X-ray machine of a certain spot, where Jack Lemmon felt the problem was, what caused a possible nuclear meltdown. where the area was, found out they're using more than one copy of an X-ray of that particular spot that took place like 6 months ago. So you don't know what the problem is now. What the problem is now, it didn't exist 6 months ago. And so I feel that the plant's not working right, and they should shut it down, or at least shut it down long enough for them to fix the problem. But meanwhile, the owners of the power plant's not going to do it. It's not going to shut it down. They're actually going to increase the power, which is going to make the situation worse, and it will cause what they call a China syndrome. And that is that the nuclear energy is going to be seeped into the ground far enough to hit China, which is on the other side of the planet. It's kind of like the old guy that used to use an old, like, Looney Tunes cartoons. If you dig enough in the earth, you're eventually going to dig your way to China. Right? So it's the same principle with nuclear waste and nuclear energy. It will seep into the ground far enough to hit, or into the earth, and the earth's core and stuff, to hit China. So that's what they call the China syndrome. That theory, of course, the title for this film. So Jack Lemmon trying to shut this thing down, and Jack Lemmon gets into the control room and tries to take over it. And meanwhile, the owners of the power plant calls in the cops and the SWAT team to take Jack Lemmon out. Because if word got out, if he is allowed to talk to the media, they're going to be forced to shut down the power plant. Which, of course, at the end of this movie, doesn't happen. Spoiler for those of you who didn't see the movie, but they did kill, or the SWAT team does kill Jack Lemmon in this movie. Spoiler, and that's when he's about to make a statement with Jane Fonda and her news station, and while he starts stalling, they cut off the power. In the power plant, they cut off the power, the outside lines to the plant, so that the transmission won't be sent out to this television station. So they lost the signal. So now Jack Lemmon is not going to be able to give his statement, and then the SWAT team goes in there and kills Jack Lemmon. Spoiler. Of course, and there was enough footage of Jack Lemmon for the public to believe that he was a nut. That Jack Lemmon was a nut, even though Jack Lemmon was in the right. Even his friend, who was played by Wilford Brimley, kind of believes that Jack was right, and says I believe that he was in the right in what he did. And so Jane Fonda asked, "Do you think the plant should be shut down?" And he said, "Well, it's not for me to say it should be shut down, but because I'm not in that position. But I feel that I'm not in that position in the company because I'm not the owner. Sorry, that was my phone. But I feel that that Jack and Jack Lemmon's actual his character's first name was actually Jack, was also Jack. So he says, "Oh, I feel that Jack was in the right." Every time I do a movie video here, and I say I feel that he was in the right in what he did. So, and then of course at the end of the film, Jane Fonda gives a statement. I hope that they do shut this thing down so that the repairs can be done. And say I believe in Jack Lemmon's character. I say I believe what he's saying. I heard his whole statement before they cut the power off, so I knew what he said, and that there's a danger. I do hope they shut this thing down." And that was how. And actually, of course, Jane Fonda finished off her report, and they actually when the TV signal said, "Okay, we're going to end our broadcast," and of course you see in these monitors that Jane Fonda is being consoled by Michael Douglas's character at the end, and of course that's pretty much how the movie ended. Now this is where the 3 Mile Island thing comes in. What happened was the movie came out, or the China Syndrome came out, I think it was either March 10th or March 13th, 1979, but I think it was approximately 10 days to 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks later, between 10 days and 2 weeks, we had the 3 Mile Island incident, which happened with the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant is in Pennsylvania. Those of you who don't know, and about like I said, between 10 days and 2 weeks after the China syndrome originally came out, they also had a similar incident that was described almost verbatim. What happened in the movie happened in 3 Mile Island, but I went a little. That's a tad further than 3 Mile Island than in the movie. In the movie, they started at the right time, but they went a little beyond that in reality on the 3 Mile Island incident. So that caused a little bit of that waste got out and stuff like that. And the funny thing is that during that summer, my family and I went to Hershey, Pennsylvania. I think it was maybe around my birthday or something. And Hershey Park was completely deserted because it's Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hershey Park was not too far away from the 3 Mile Island. It wasn't, I think, within a couple of miles of the 3 Mile Island, so it was deserted when we went there. But we had a good time there anyway, because we had practically had the whole park to ourselves, because nobody had the nerve to go there because of the incident. But it's real life imitating art what happened in that movie. So, and of course, I think it was 7 years later you had Chernobyl. The Chernobyl incident in Russia. So you also had another one in Japan, in 2003, I think it was, or 2013, something like that. So you had life imitating art. But those of you who've never seen the China syndrome, even though I'm not a huge Jane Fonda fan because of her political crapola, but she is a damn good actress. I mean, I have to give her credit. I mean, she is a 2-time Oscar winner, but so I have to give her credit for that. And not only that, but Jack Lemmon was nominated for his performance in this film. Even though he didn't win, I think Jane Fonda was also nominated, and she obviously didn't win either. And the China syndrome, I don't know if it was nominated for Best Picture or not. Of course, 1979, it was the year that Kramer vs. Kramer came out, and that won the Oscar for Best Picture. But the China syndrome should be right up there with Kramer vs. Kramer for that year's Oscar awards. But unfortunately, I don't think it won anything. And one more interesting note about the China syndrome was that there was no background music in this film. Was not completely out of the film background music, because there were 2 moments when you had background music, or 2 moments. One was during the opening credits when you had a song playing in there. Plus, you also had one scene where Jane Fonda was talking to Jack Lemmon and Wilford Brimley's characters in a bar, and there was music playing in the jukebox. But other than those 2 moments in this film, there was absolutely no background music. So the drama was not heightened by background music. It was made even more of an interesting film for that purpose. So that's my review of the movie The China Syndrome. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. That's all WDY, and that's c.com. That's the homepage of the Rally Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore. And please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.